We're going to start with Bill. Bill, good to see you. Before we get to immigration, what do you make of what happened last night?
It was a tough night. I think that if you have to take any lesson from it whatsoever, it's that Democrats are never going to be able to win in midterms if we don't figure out how to talk to white voters. I honestly think that that's it. I don't think that the message that we have has been able to really translate to the coalition of voters that help bring Republicans into to even more power.
Was President Obama a drag on the ticket, like Mark Pryor said?
I think a second-term president in their midterm is always kind of a drag on the ticket. And this time, with the president at 42%, losing that many seats, you know, Ronald Reagan at this point in his presidency was at 62, and he lost over 20 seats. So I think that at 42, it was not destined to go well.
I got to say this, and I am going to get to immigration, but how did we go from the Greek columns in Vesco Field, the moment everybody feeling, you know, to this? How did it happen? Both houses of Congress, the White House, take it, go with it, run with it, to get out of here, you too, and all the governors, go!
A couple things. Number one, presidential elections and midterm elections are totally different electorates. And so the kind of fight that you have when the president actually is on the ballot is one that he's engaged in. He's engaging constituencies that are more likely to support Democrats in presidential years. And then in the midterms, I think that you're always in a situation where people are looking at the situation around the world. And when you're in a situation that we're in right now, where the economy is doing better, but the middle class isn't feeling it, you're seeing these crises around the world from Ebola to ISIS, and the president's just unpopular, I think it's very, very tough to win a lot of seats.
Is that why we're seeing him say what he's saying on immigration? Because many people came out today and said this is about satisfying or placating the Latino vote, the Hispanic vote, gearing up for 2016 for whoever the next Democrat will be.
Well, if I could take 1 second and take off my Obama hat and just be my guy watching the presidential press conference hat, you know, every president, be it Bill Clinton or George W. Bush, at this press conference where they lost a bunch of seats, they talk about the math a little bit. And I think the president did a pretty good job staying out of the punditry. But there was a point at which he said, you know, 2/3 of Americans didn't vote and that sort of thing. And I think that, you know, just like George W. Bush said, yeah, we lost a lot of seats, but it was really close in all those seats that we lost. In this case, though, yes, it was not the same share of the Hispanic vote as it has been in presidential years. But at the same time, I don't think the president is just talking about the Hispanic vote when he's talking about immigration. What he's talking about is taking care of an issue that Republicans and Democrats all across the country think need to be addressed right now. A majority of Americans support it. He's gotten hit, though, because
he waited so long to prioritize this. You know, he went in, he had a lot of goodwill, he had the wind behind his back, and he spent so much time and capital and that goodwill on health care, which was so divisive. And you heard Ed Henry saying now 28 senators who voted for the health care bill are now gone. And the question was, why didn't he prioritize this? And is this sort of a last act of desperation to say, I did all I could?
No, you know, I was with President Obama from the very beginning on his first campaign. And I remember the day that he was on the campaign trail and he said, I will take on immigration in the first year of my presidency. And all of us at the campaign were like, wow, that seems really hard to actually get done. But he kept it on the burner, the back burner. He moved up to the front burner, and he's tried and tried and tried. Finally, got a bill that actually passed the Senate that they would not take up in the House. And now the president is finally at the point where he's saying, "Look, if you will not act, Congress, I'm going to do it." And you know, frankly, from a leverage perspective, from a negotiating perspective, this is probably pretty good because if he can get the Republicans to come to the table and say, okay, let's work on immigration, then he'll say, okay, well, maybe we don't have to do the executive order. Let's all work together.
Now, if he doesn't, Bill, good to see you.
Good to see you.